While it's not perfect, the multi-purpose poncho is pretty good at disguising a small machine like my Moto right there. I am 10 yards away and it just about disappears into the background. Now, of course, you need to be selective. You need to be choosy with the site that you pick. That definitely matters, no matter what. But having just a small piece of kind of versatile kit like a poncho, man, not only is it your rain gear, it can also be your shelter, which I use 99% of the time. But you can also leave a Moto unattended in an area like this, you know, where somebody might be coming by and potentially steal it. I can basically make it pretty much invisible as long as I put it in the right spot, kind of off the beaten path a little bit. This is kind of where the trail ends. I can't see it at all. Not even a little bit. A lot of people say that you need some sort of really high R value mattress, sleep pad to get you through cold nights in the wintertime. Now that may be true if you can't improvise or modify your environment whatsoever. If you're sleeping on top of snow and ice, or you know, you're on hard packed dirt and no leaf litter. But what's gotten me through some really cold nights with a very minimal shelter, like a very thin Thermarest sleep pad, R value of like 2 or something. I don't know what they are. They're really low. Or a wool blanket, or my wancho in this situation here. I mean, obviously clear the area of any big twigs and rocks and stuff like that. And check for biting insects and all that kind of stuff. But essentially, just kit yourself up a pile of leaves like this right here. And a lot of people mention when I do things like this, they say, what about bugs? You know, if it's the winter months and it's cold, it's not a problem. There's no bugs. This time of year when there's ticks starting to pop out, mosquitoes and all the other bitey, itchy, crawly things around you, it becomes a bit more of a nuisance, and that's why I generally switch to a hammock this time of year. And when I've done this correctly, a good pile of leaves with the thinnest sleep pad or a wool blanket, I do not feel the cold ground. I'd never feel that cold just seeping into my bones, the warmth being sucked out of my body. Because what happens is, if you don't have some sort of barrier between you and the earth, you'll never warm up that little spot that you're laying on. It'll never happen. It's physics. The earth is huge, you are tiny. So you'll never warm it up. So you need something like this in the colder months, something to keep you insulated from the ground. That's really important, equally or more important as something to keep you warm on top. I get asked about bugs all the time and what to do about ticks and, you know, specifically ticks, but all the other critters that want to do you harm, you know. So if you're out here, if you're out in the woods, there's going to be bugs. Where I live in Georgia, summertime, there's a lot of bugs. And you're just going to have to deal with them. That's just the way it is. You're going to have to accept being a little bit itchy. I remember just the one thing that I wanted in life. I spent a month living in the swamps of Louisiana one time, and what I wanted more than anything probably was to not be itchy for just a minute. Just a minute of not being itchy would have been so good. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. It wasn't my luck. But what to do? So ticks, there's all sorts of things you can do. Like a lot of people promote permethrin. You spray that all over your clothes, you know, you treat your clothes in it. And it does work. It does keep them off of you to some degree. But this stuff is pretty dang poisonous. I mean, I just do not like using, I don't like using DEET if I can help it. In my experience, to avoid mosquitoes, it's just cover up. Put long sleeves on, long pants, long sleeve shirt, gloves, cover your face up, bug nets, all that kind of good stuff is generally the best option. A little hot, I get it. A little stifling sometimes in the hot human environments, I understand. But sometimes that's just what it takes. As far as ticks, just regular tick checks. Like, you know, every time you think about it, every time it crosses your mind, just give yourself a thorough rub down of all of your nooks and crannies, especially the crannies. Do not forget about those. Get all the bugs around this water. Camping right here in this lowland area where the water is, even though this is flowing, this is not stagnant water. Camping here is much more buggy. You're going to get bit more. You're going to have horse flies buzzing around you, biting you, irritating the crap out of you. The best thing you can do is move away from any water source. Get up the hill a ways if possible, or just move a further distance from it. If you could be in the breeze, mosquitoes don't fly well in the breeze. If you could get out in the open, out of thick, dense vegetation, that's always going to help too. Now this water right here, guys, is a spring-fed tiny little stream. And it is crystal clear. It looks perfect. Would you want to drink directly out of this? Probably not, because you just don't know. You don't know what's 100 yards upstream of here. There could be a deer that was hit on the road. And when they get hit or injured in some way, they generally run downhill towards water. And sometimes they end up face down dead in the creeks, in the small little streams, branches like this. And that means that there could be potentially really harmful bacteria growing upstream, drifting down into what you perceive as crystal clear, perfectly fine drinking water. Could potentially drink this and get away with it. No problem. You could get away with it 99 times out of 100. That one time could make you really, really sick. And it isn't worth it if you can help it. If you can filter it, do it. If you can boil it, do it. If you could treat it with water tablets, do it. It's just not worth it. Now, while we're on the subject of water, one thing that always helps me, regardless of the time of year, to help me sleep a little bit better, is to rinse off, is to give my face, at the end of the day, you've been hot, you've been sweaty, or you've been cold and freezing but still dirty. Ice cold water, as long as you're not suffering from hypothermia, rinse yourself off, rinse your face off a little bit, give yourself a little bird bath. If you're quick in the wintertime, if you do it fast enough, you can give yourself a little rinse down. Take your clothes off, get in this shallow creek right here, and give yourself a little bird bath. Put your clothes back on, get warmed back up, and man, you feel like $1,000,000 afterwards. Have a fire going, so you can dry off even more thoroughly, because you don't want to risk hypothermia, obviously. But warmer months, summer months, dude, it's nothing better after a hot, sweaty day. Don't be lazy. Take the time to keep yourself clean, to keep bacteria and fungus and stuff from growing between your toes and under your arms and in your nether regions. If you can prevent that by staying clean, I generally have a short piece of string like this in my pocket pretty much all the time. And one of the most used, handiest knots that I use all the time is just a jam loop. So I've got just a regular overhand knot in the end of my string. So if I was going to use this one, I would tie myself just a regular overhand knot like that right there, close to the end. And that just pretty much stays in the line all the time, ready for action, because I can use this for all sorts of applications. And if I need a loop, so I can attach my line to something, all I do is twist the line, making a little circle like that, making a loop right there. So I twist the line, and I make myself a little loop. And then I take this portion of the line closest to my tag end, closest to my knot, I stick it through, and then I pull right there. That right there, my friends, is a slip loop, and it will slide until it gets to that jam knot. And once it gets to that jam knot, it's not going to come untied. There's no way. I mean, you break the line before you break that knot loose. It's not going to come untied. So there's your loop. And you can use that for all sorts of things. And then when you want to get it untied, you just pull on the knot and it all comes undone. One of my favorite and go-to warm weather shelters, sleep systems, has been this right here. It is my SOL Escape Bivy, the breathable one. Make sure it's the breathable one so you don't wake up covered in body dew. Nobody likes that. And a really cheap super inexpensive, easy to make sleeping bag right here for warm weather. I'm talking about summer months when the temperatures aren't going to get down below the 60s probably. This is perfect. It's just a fleece blanket with a toe box sewn in to one end of the blanket. So essentially what that does is it allows me to get in it, get my feet inside of it, and then when I get inside of my bivy bag here, I don't come uncovered and twisted up, wrapped up in my blanket. It keeps me completely covered and keeps my feet nice and warm and, you know, all the good stuff. So I can cover up with my blanket and be inside of the bivy bag really easily just by doing that right there. Camp is essentially made, as long as it's not pouring down rain, obviously. You'd probably want something over top of you in the pouring rain, but in fair weather, warm weather, this is really all you need. Lay down on top of your blanket, lay down on your sleep pad, get in a hammock. That's what I do oftentimes in the summer months, is use this right here, all this in a hammock, and it is so nice and so cozy. Be up off the wet ground, away from the bugs a little bit, and it's a good night's sleep. Plus, these two things together, man, a pound? Maybe? I don't even know if it weighs a pound. They're really light. There's nothing to it. The other great thing about carrying a bivy bag like this one is you can use it as a dry bag. So I can put my fleece blanket, not that it takes very long for that to dry, but I take my fleece blanket, I stick it down on the bottom of the bivy bag like that, get all the air out of it, and then kind of wrap it up, and I could stick this in my pack and it keeps it nice and dry. I could put my spare clothes in there as well. A bivy bag is a really nice piece of kit. If you're not carrying a bivy bag, you should really think about it because it's just really versatile. It's handy. It keeps you that much warmer. It keeps the wind off you, keeps the moisture off of you. Definitely get a breathable one though. That's important. Friends, take a quick second to hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thanks.